The Nigerian Senate has threatened an arrest warrant for the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Muhammed, the Minister of State Petroleum, Timpre Silva, and Minister of Power, Engineer Sali Maman, over their continued refusal to honor its invitation to answer audit queries against them. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Chairman Senate Committee on Public Accounts, Senator Matthew Uhogede, People's Democratic Party PDP, Edo South, vowed that the state will not hesitate to invoke its exclusive right to issue the warrant, just as he said that it has become a very ugly situation where heads of ministries, departments, agencies, MDAs of government charged with public functions vehemently refuse to give an account of the expenditure made by them. This is a very sad one. Well, it's more or less like a broken system anyway. He went on to say that the committee has no choice but to compel the defaulting agencies to appear before it in line with Section 89 of the Constitution if they persist in their behavior. Also, to be arrested over their refusal to honor invitations extended to them by the upper chamber to answer queries of 2015 expenditure as presented to the Senate by the Office of Auditor General for the Federation are the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Pauline Talen, our counterpart in the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, Architect Olamilekon Adigbeti, and the Chairman, National Population Commission, NPC. According to Urogedi, the MDAs that have failed to honor the invitation of the committee include the Ministry of Information, Culture and National Orientation, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Ministry of Power, Ministry of Women Affairs, Ministry of Solid Minerals, and National Population Commission. He said, over a month ago, we wrote to them to come and answer the audit queries raised against them by the Auditor General of the Federation in its 2015 audit report. But they have deliberately and irresponsibly failed to honor our invitation. Their failure to appear before this committee amount to outright disobedience to constituted authority. Urogedi, who lamented that the hindrances caused by the failure of the agencies to appear before the panel is part of the reasons why Nigerians often accuse the National Assembly of not discharging its duties. In his words, he said, it is only in Nigeria that people spend government's money and fail to show up to defend their expenditure. According to him, heads of the agencies give excuses that are not tenable for not honoring the invitation. Just as he said, the excuse the Ministry of Information and Culture gave was that the consultants handling the consultancy project and the contractors for the year 2015 are not available due to the restrictions occasioned by the coronavirus. On the part of Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the ministry stated that the failure to honor the Senate invitation was due to the meeting of directors of African Petroleum Producers Organization scheduled for Thursday, 11 June 2020, the same day of the committee public hearing, just as the Ministry of Power said that it was still producing documents for the hearing. For the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Development, it stated that it was seeing the query for the first time and needed time to get a copy of the query and prepare relevant documents for its appearance before the committee. On the part of the Federal Ministry of Solid Mineral Development, it said that it needed more time to prepare adequately National Population Commission, just as the National Population Commission said also that it needed more time to prepare. That's just what that they needed more time to prepare. As you can see, this is a lackadaisical attitude towards governance, and more can be said about the senators. You see, they are all fraudsters anyway. That's just what it is. They are all fraudsters. There's no two ways about it. They're all fraudsters, and there's nothing else that you want to talk about here. It's a very sad one. It's a very sad one. We live in a contraption, and a lot of people would call it a country. This is not a country. You cannot call this a country. There must be something that functions before you say this is a country. It's more or less like a dead setup, a dead structure. All of them have excuses. They are not coming. They are not attending. And, it's so terrible. Anyway, reactions out there, people are saying that they might be preparing the lies to present before the Senate, and they are trying to complete this. And Muhammed shouldn't have problems answering the queries. All he needs to do is to put on his special cap for telling lies, and it will be home and dry. Well, over a month before COVID-19 or after, the Senate and Rep hold Nigerian questions about renovation and all of these things. So there are also issues of the renovation. There's a lot of money that is going in there. Yes, I understand that it is part of the constitution that this should be done, but what is needed? Is it the chairs that are having problems in the Senate? Why is money needed to be pumped into the Senate, and that amount of money to be pumped? The Senate has always remained the same. Red, sofa, and the chairs, and every other thing there. The Senate is still workable. The Senate, the structures there, the chairs and all of the stuff that I see there, they are all right. I do not see any problems with any of the chair or the mechanism, the fold and open. I don't see anything wrong with any of the furnitures there anyway. But they have decided that they are going to spend our money the way they want. They have allocated billions of naira into building the Senate once again, as if they are going to start all over again. This is criminal. This is criminal. And so I do not see any iota of truth in any of them. Both the senators and the ministers, the MDAs, and every one of them, they are all involved in one thing or the other. Nigeria is simply a location where they come to perpetrate their criminal activities. Some come to work like they are really coming to work. They know the ropes. They know how to go about what they do. But at the end of the day, the vested interest, that's just all that concerns them. It's more about what they want to get. Now, someone said that the National Assembly is just issuing out what they call empty threat, audio threat. And that's why is it that they did not do proper screening of the people and check out their pedigree before and look at their background before they are allowed in? Well, what you need to understand about the structure is that even the senators are not even well grounded themselves. You need to see senators or people in the House of Representatives, Federal House of and many of them, when they speak, you wonder how they were even able to get votes. But then you know what it is. The criteria is that you can have O level for certain positions and some certificates. And that does not necessarily mean that you have to be very good in what you do. They do not even come out to speak, to address the people like a kind of debate for people to see who has a lot of it upstairs there, who is willing to do the right thing. You just find mediocres, sit down in the Senate, sleep, snore, and get allowance. And when they have to bring up bills, when they speak, it's like a comedy. They are not serious. It's like wasting of taxpayers' money, wasting the resources in Nigeria. When they speak, they talk trash. They talk trash. Is it that they are bringing up bills of, or talking about how bills of Kilishi, and very funny stuff. They come up with bills that are nonsensical. And when you look at their constituency, you will never find anything what pointing to that they have brought into their constituency. Nothing. It's terrible. So if people are asking for a breakup of Nigeria, I don't think you should question them about it. That's not because the breakaway is the only solution, but at least it will break into pieces all of this nonsense that we are seeing in the national level. Then we'll have a smaller nation. It will no longer be that senator, he ran down to Abuja. You don't have any Abuja to run down to. It's going to be inside. So they're going to play what they call internal politics. You will know the next door. It's not as if someone will be living in Abuja and yet he has his constituency in a different state. You will be in that state. They know your door. They know your room. It's no longer going to be that kind of politics that they do, election that they do, and you go out making so much noise. You go from door to door and knock. That's how it's done abroad. You go from door to knock. And of course, you can advertise whatever you need to do and all of that. It's going to be a different thing. So with this, of course, they will build the new nation on transparency and it will be free of corruption.